Learning how certain foods might increase the chance of getting cancer can seem a bit scary. It also brings up a bunch of questions like why these foods are linked to a higher risk and whether we should avoid them completely. You might be shocked in some of these foods not knowing it's cancerous, or you already know it's cancerous but you just can't help it. Let's explore these foods that can cause cancer. Number 1. Sugar and refined carbohydrates. While sugar itself is not directly carcinogenic, diets high in added sugars and refined carbohydrates, including non-diet soda, have been associated with an increased risk of cancer through various mechanisms. These include the promotion of obesity and insulin resistance, both established risk factors for cancer. High sugar intake can lead to chronic inflammation, creating an environment favorable for cancer development. Some studies suggest that cancer cells, particularly in breast cancer, may use glucose more efficiently, potentially promoting tumor growth. Imbalances in hormones like insulin and IGF-1, as well as the dysregulation of cellular processes, may further contribute to the cancer risk associated with high sugar consumption. Cancer really loves glucose, which are sugar and refined carbohydrates you eat. If you keep consuming these, then you are also creating and feeding cancer in your body. To mitigate these risks, it is recommended to maintain a balanced diet, low in sugar, rich in fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats. Number 2. Alcohol. Many of us enjoy the occasional drink, some of us more than others. Alcohol consumption is linked to an increased risk of cancer due to various mechanisms. When the body metabolizes alcohol, it produces acetaldehyde, a carcinogen that can damage DNA, raising the risk of cancer. Chronic alcohol intake can impair DNA repair, elevate estrogen levels, which is associated with breast cancer. It cause liver cirrhosis leading to liver cancer and interfere with nutrient absorption. Weakened immune function and the promotion of inflammation contribute further to cancer development. The types of cancer associated with alcohol use include breast, liver, esophagus, mouth, throat, larynx, stomach, and bowel. It is best to gradually reduce alcohol intake until you stop it or get professional help that can guide you to quit safely. Number 3. Red meat. The World Health Organization classifies red meat into Group 2A, which means it is probably carcinogenic to humans. According to experts, red meat like beef, pork, lamb, mutton, veal, and goat have found strong evidence of the link between colorectal cancer and consuming large quantities of red meat. Evidence also points to an association with pancreatic and prostate cancers. Chronic inflammation associated with high red meat intake further adds to the risk, and alterations in gut microbiota may also play a role. Additionally, certain substances in red meat, like nitrates and nitrites, may contribute to the risk. We are not saying you avoid eating red meat completely, at least not every day. It's best to add variety of healthy foods. Number 4. Overcooked or charred foods. Overcooking or charring foods, particularly meats, can create substances like heterocyclic amines and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, which are associated with an increased risk of cancer. HCA form when meat is cooked at high temperatures, and PAH develop from fat dripping onto hot surfaces. These compounds have been linked to various cancers, particularly colorectal cancer, with HCA, and lung cancer, with PAH. Consuming charred meat may expose individuals to higher levels of these carcinogens, potentially contributing to cancer development. To reduce the risk, make sure you don't overcook and don't leave when you are cooking. You can also set a timer for more accurate cooking. not only for red meats but also overcooking processed meats like sausages, bacon, chicken, turkey, fish. Starchy foods like breads and potatoes can also be carcinogenic foods. So as much as possible, don't burn it. If you burn it, just throw it and make a new one. Speaking of processed meat, number 5, processed meat, which includes fast foods. Processed meats, classified as Group 1 carcinogens by the World Health Organization, have been linked to an increased risk of colorectal cancer. This is primarily due to the presence of additives like nitrates and nitrites, which can form carcinogenic nitrosamines during cooking or digestion. You might not be aware that a lot of restaurants overuse their cooking oil to manage costs. Repeated heating of oil can lead to the production of acrylamide, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, and advanced glycation in products. These compounds have been associated with an increased risk of cancer. Processed meats may also contain unhealthy fats and salt, further elevating cancer risk. Chronic inflammation and alterations in gut microbiota composition are additional factors contributing to the potential carcinogenicity of these foods. While occasional consumption may not pose significant risks, health experts emphasize moderation and a balanced diet rich in fruits and vegetables. Number 6. Trans fats. Trans fats are the worst type of fats to eat. In contrast to other fats, such as saturated and unsaturated fats, trans fats, also known as trans fatty acids, increases bad cholesterol while simultaneously decreases good cholesterol. Here's a list of common foods with trans fats that you should avoid eating. Pastries like donuts, croissants and danishes, cakes, cupcakes and cookies, snack foods like potato chips and microwave popcorn. Avoid deep-fried foods in restaurants like French fries, fried chicken, and onion rings. Buying deep-fried foods in restaurants might not be safe in terms of trans fats content. They might be using hydrogenated oil which contain trans fats that food can absorb while being cooked. Also, they might be reusing cooking oil for frying multiple times that can lead to breakdown of the oil and formation of trans fats. It's better to cook it yourself to control what kind of oil to use. Use oils that are naturally trans fat-free and have a high smoking point. If you trust the restaurant and they prioritize health and quality food, then that's a good news. Number 7. Salty foods. Excessive consumption of salty foods over the long term can contribute to an increased risk of stomach cancer through various mechanisms. Salt-preserved foods and high salt intake have been associated with stomach cancer due to chronic irritation and inflammation of the stomach lining. Additionally, the preservation process can lead to the formation of carcinogenic compounds like nitrosamines, further elevating cancer risk. Although cancer will not be the main focus of too much salt intake, it is strongly linked to high blood pressure, stroke, cardiovascular disease, and kidney disease. It is still better to limit sodium intake to 1,500 milligrams per day, which is less than a teaspoon of salt. So, these are the foods that can cause cancer. But what about blood sugar level? Do you have high blood sugar level? Do you have diabetes? Then you might want to watch this next video. Learn 9 simple steps to lower blood sugar levels.